William states that most of our worries in life come from the habit of looking back or looking ahead. And let's be honest. How often have you said, I'll be happy when? Today, I got a book review for you. It's called A Way of Life by William Osler. And we're going to do today's book review in under 10. So let's get started. All right. So this is one of those, this is like a gold piece of wisdom. William Osler gave this book as a commencement speech in 1913 to a group of graduating Yale students. It's about how to stop worrying, and believe me, his advice still hits home today, which is crazy when you think about it. It's almost been a century later. Now, I know many of us have struggled with worry. I used to worry about, it's kind of weird to say, everything. And it was affecting my sleep. I used to worry about things like, what is the internet stranger 5462 going to say about me if I post this video? Or how many views I got on a video and what that said about me as a person, as if it did say something about me as a person. Or now more recently, whether AI would make me irrelevant. And this one a lot of us struggle with. Will I be able to handle success when it shows up? Any of this sound familiar? Or maybe it's just me that used to worry about these things. Well, I wanted to get into the 3 steps that we can take to kick worry in his face. And I just came up with that. That was hard. I wish I had a bar sound effect. But first, we should start out by saying, where the heck does worry come from? William states that most of our worries in life come from the habit of looking back or looking ahead. And let's be honest. How often have you said, I'll be happy when? Or held yourself back from something you really wanted because you remember when you failed at something similar before? This type of mindset that I am 100% guilty of. I've had both of those situations. But that sabotages our peace and makes it impossible to live fully in the present. Yeah, think about that. Just how many times when you do that, just think about all the ways it sabotages you. And especially the one where I'll be happy when. Because basically when we say that, we're saying that it's impossible for us to be happy now. We can only be happy when we reach this place in the future that sometimes we may not reach for whatever reason. Now, step 1 of our formula is to recognize the trap. To find peace, you cannot obsess over the past or the future, because the trap is the past is done and the future has yet to happen. We really only have today. So the first step is to see how dwelling on yesterday, regrets, tomorrow's what ifs can keep us stuck like Chuck. Another bar. He's just barring it out today. Keep us stuck like Chuck. And it's so easy for us to do, man. I mean, because we've all made mistakes. So thinking about those mistakes is easy to do. But he talks about how, we have to stop. But I know what you're thinking. That's not very easy to do. Like, how do you even do that? I'm glad you asked. That's where step 2 of the formula comes in. We have to live in day-tight compartments. Basically means you have to live your life as though you only have today. Because realistically, truthfully, actually, and factually, you only do have today. Yesterday is gone and tomorrow hasn't arrived yet. And so we really only have today. And in the book, he gives us an analogy. He says, imagine the past. There's a door, an iron door, and you're pulling this iron door closed. So the past is trapped behind this iron door. And then you're like, well, hey, I got the present and the future. No, you're going to take an iron curtain and pull it to close off the future. And why an iron curtain? Because the future is still unfolding. So you want to be able to move it back a little as you go. But the past, we put an iron door because there's no reason that we're ever going to open that iron door. And I know for me, one of the ways I've done this in my life is I journal before bed. And it's not to write, Dear Diary, today. No, I'm just dumping any lingering thoughts that I have. I'm dumping them out. And I almost never reread them unless I need something relevant for the present. Other than that, it's just old baggage I don't need to revisit. Think about this. Have you ever watched a movie right before you went to bed and then dreamt about it? I know I have. I did it last night. I was a superhero. I was making stuff happen. It's the same idea. If you don't release your thoughts, they'll keep popping up while you're asleep. And then you wonder why you can't get any sleep. At least I did. Or maybe you can just, sleep regardless of your thoughts. I ain't there yet, so I got the journal. Step 3 is we secure our future by living today well. And I know you're like, man, this ain't rocket science. And I said that at the beginning, this would not be rocket science. But just because it's not rocket science doesn't mean we fully accept or understand it. So he goes on to say in this one, the best insurance for tomorrow is actually doing your best today. Stress, worry, anxiety, especially for us men, is the fastest way to ensure that we have no future, because we carry that stuff. Us men, we carry what we got wrong. We carry what we want to get it right in the future. And we have so much anxiety and pressure and just weight on us. And eventually, as we keep walking, that weight weighs us down because it's too hard to carry. And then we die early. But there is a better way. And it's to be fully present each day, in each moment. Be fully present with the people that we're with in that moment, or our work. In whatever we're doing, we just need to be present. And then we show gratitude for today, for right now, because that is all we truly have. And at night, we just take stock of how it went. And that's it. And then we rinse and repeat. Now, this all is simple, but sometimes we make the simple things hard. I know I do. But what I'm hoping is, if you just understand that our lives, and he states this in the book, it says life is a habit, a succession of actions that become more or less automatic. Worrying is a habit, and it's a habit that we can break. And I'm hoping that I convinced you to read this book, because he digs deep into the daily practices and habits that hold us back from living in a day-tight compartment. And if you're curious, I want you to grab a book, because I believe it's worth reading. And if I tell you all those things, then you'll take it as though you don't have to go read the book and learn it for yourself. But the best way to apply anything is to learn it for yourself. And a quick recap, we're going to recognize that the trap that keeps us from having peace is worrying about yesterday and worrying about tomorrow. That's the trap. Number 2, we have to live in day-tight compartments, because like we said in number 1, yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is not here yet. And all we have is today. And number 3, we can only secure the future by living well today, by being present today, by doing what we need to do today. Because enough todays lived well will make tomorrow better. But we have to start with today. William Osler's timeless formula for ditching worry and living life to the fullest in the present. It worked back in 1913. I'm sure it'll still work today. All right. And if you haven't watched last week's video about my 30 days review since my Tony Robbins event, check it out. And remember, our job is to learn, grow, so we can unleash ourselves every single day of the year. All right. I believe in you. You are enough. And I hope you enjoyed today's book review.